Hey class, here is our little Excel tutorial. We're gonna learn how to do some means, standard deviations, and learn how to do bar graphs. So just as a reminder, what we did in class today, or whenever you're listening to this, it's January 25th. We got into groups, 7 groups in total, and we just compared left-hand grip strength. So since we know that we have 7 groups, let's go ahead and list these different groups that we had. So what I want everyone to do is pause this as many times as you need, and I really just want you to follow along and make sure that you're doing all the same stuff I am so that you get comfortable in Excel. Oop. Messed up a little bit right there. Sorry about that. Group 7. And here there was approximately 3 or 4 people in every group. So I'm just going to go and move it on to 4. And what we're actually going to be doing is an average, which is just a measure of like central tendency. Everyone in here knows what an average is. And then standard deviation, which I'm going to abbreviate STDEV, which what a standard deviation is just the variance around that average. So here, I want you to copy that, Control C, or Command C if you're on a Mac, and I just want you to paste this for every single group. Okay, now let's start entering the group values. So for group 1, person 1, they got 45. Group 1, person 2, 54. 35. I'm going to stop saying this so you don't have to hear my voice. Just follow along, write all of this down. Wasn't a 4th person in group 2. Seems like most of the groups only have about 3 people. So, sad. We'll get 4 though. Okay. Okay, that is all the data. So go ahead and pause if you haven't entered all of this data. All right, now we're going to enter some equations. So in this first one, for group 1, I want you to click on this cell, so B6. First press an equal sign, then I want you to type out the word average. Average. Then open a parenthesis, highlight everything above it, and then close the parenthesis and press enter. So the average for group 1 is 45.5. And remember, this is kilograms on the left-hand grip strength. Now there's standard deviation. I want you to write equal sign STDEV. That's the one I like to use. And it's the one right here. Really, all of them are fairly similar, but that's the most standard one I like to use. Open the parenthesis, only highlight the numbers, don't highlight the average. You'll get a wrong number if you do that. Close the parenthesis. Right there. Done. So the mean is 45.73. And if you want to, you can decrease how many digits are showing up right there just by going right here. Typically about 4 digits, or like to the hundredths place is nice. So what you can do from that, highlight these two, hit Control C or Command C if you're on a Mac. Click here, hit Control V or Command V, and then we pasted it. And check that out. If you click right there, that's nice. Just it averaged all that, and with nothing being right there, that's not really changing the average at all. Here, let's make sure about that. Yep, didn't change anything. So here, let's go and just drag it all the way down. And again, let's reduce the amount of digits there just so it looks all nice and pretty. Highlight that again, Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V, Control V, and Control V. So now we have means and standard deviations for every single group. Next thing I want us to do is make a bar graph. So a lot of times you make a bar graph whenever you're comparing numerous different groups, and that's just exactly what we're going to do. So click on that average. So whenever you compare things in graphs, you typically compare averages. Click on that average, 45.5, hold down Control, click on 37.67, keep holding down Control, click on that, click on that, click on 36, click on 39, and click on that. Okay, so now you can take your finger off the control. Looking good right there. Let's go up here to Insert. Over here, right there, that's where the column or bar graph is. We can do this one or we can do a fancy one. Let's just do a normal one. For the title, let's just write Excel practice. All right, so there we go. Let's add some other elements to this. So these lines right here, I typically don't like to look at them. So just click on it, delete it. Don't need that anymore. Now let's add a few other things to this. So up here, add chart element. You can click on this, axis titles, primary horizontal axis. So here on the horizontal or x-axis, all it is was group, which group you were in. So group 1, 2, 3, 4, all of that. Next thing, let's add a chart element, axis title, primary vertical axis. So right here, what did we measure? Hand grip, parenthesis, kg. So we measured it in kilograms. This is typically how you want to see that. Now, one more thing that I want us to add to it, we have these means. Very nice. Now what we need to do is we need to add standard deviations or standard error bar. So how we're going to do that, go up here to add chart element, down here to error bars. Right here, there's none. You can do standard error, you can do percentage, you can do standard deviation, any of that. But we already calculated these standard deviations, so how are we going to get these values onto here? Click on more error bar options. Over here, typically if you're doing a bar graph, you only want to do the plus because it'll be implied on the way down. We like to have the cap, and then here, error amount, custom. So specify the value. Positive error, what you're going to do. Click on this first one. Hold down the Control or Command key. click on the next one, then the next one, then the next one, next one, next one, next one, and then click on OK. There we go. So what we found here is like group 3, highest, but they had also the highest like standard deviation. So average of 55, but deviation of almost 21. So on average, they were our strongest left-hand group. After that, group 1, and then group 4, it seems like, unless I'm looking at this wrong. I'm sorry, I'm tired after class. Who had the lowest standard deviation? Looks like right here. So seems as though group 6, all of y'all are kind of clustered together. Kind of interesting. So there, that's all I wanted y'all to do for this Excel exercise. Thank you.